whenever I speak to you, and I get asked this quite a bit, why the heck is John Terry not moved into management? You know, with all that you achieved, with the way that you see the game, I know you're a student of the game as well. Obviously, you worked under Dean Smith at Aston Villa, and I actually said this to John earlier today, and I'll say it to you, and I'll be very honest with you. When Frank got the gig after Graham Potter, and I'm a huge Graham Potter fan, know him well. I do think, in my belief, that he was axed a little too soon. Others will maybe disagree with that. But Frank then comes in, coming off the back of the struggles that he did at Everton. Be honest, JT, did you take a phone call? Would you have liked to have taken a phone call to have filled in at that point?
I didn't take a phone call. Would I have 100%? Did at the bottom of, or the back of my mind, think I could get a call with him, could be part of that setup? Yeah, I did actually. I got quite excited by it, but then, you know, didn't have the conversation with Frank. And listen, he has his team as well, so I fully understand that. But I think the answer to your question, when I left Villa, I applied for 2 or 3 jobs. I'd interviewed for Newcastle. I'd interviewed for a couple of others before. Didn't get them, but they were really good processes for me, because you sit in those meetings and you go, actually, I'm way off this. So I'm actually glad I didn't get that. And then you learn how to then go and, you know, present within those meetings. So I then went, okay, I'm not going to get a Premier League club. I'm not going to get a Championship club. Let's go League One. Now, initially I didn't go League One because I didn't know much about League One. Never played there, never watched loads, but obviously been around it an awful long time. And that was my idea for Championship, because I played in it for the year at Aston Villa, coaching it for a couple of years where I fully understand the schedule and the teams and the players and around it. Didn't get anywhere near jobs. Applied for 2 jobs in League One just very quickly and didn't get those jobs. And interestingly enough, both of the owners within those 2 teams I applied for, the first conversations they had with me was they wanted to play like Man City. And it was a little bit of a, okay, that's interesting, but Chelsea can't perform or play like Man City. And one of them didn't go too well, but another interview was they'd sacked their manager, they were going well in the league, and they were overplaying, they were playing out from the back. Like, everyone gets obsessed with this playing out from the back, and centre backs receiving the ball in their own 6-yard box. Now, for me, I was comfortable on the ball. I wouldn't have wanted the ball in some of the situations that I'd put this presentation together. And I'd identified really in depth. Now, this is my 5th interview at this time. And I promise you, I've never been so prepared for something in my life, because I've been turned down and I've put a lot of work and effort into it. And as I'm talking to the owners, it's actually going really well. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I've got this. I've got this job. And the team was sitting 3rd in the league and 100% really got promoted. And then I'd had the conversation of going, then we can start playing a little bit better. We'll get better players that are more comfortable on the ball, receiving the ball in the box, and all of those kind of side of bits. So you kind of buy into their philosophy a little bit. Then it was like members of staff. You can only bring 1 member of staff in. I needed 2 at the time. I felt like we needed a little bit of coaching. I needed my team around me, which is very important. And I didn't get the job, and I received a phone call just going, actually, just your lack of experience. And I'd come away from that. Honestly, I was broken from that. And I was like, what I've achieved, I've not gone in at Premier League or Championship expecting to get jobs. We're talking about League One. That's no disrespect, but I know, and we speak about managers that we had at Chelsea, effectively, and I'm taking a small bit of credit, I've managed players when managers have been there. I've managed people above me. I've managed staff around me when they've not been happy. I've effectively done this job for the last 20 years, and it's something I know I'll be really good at. So at the back of me, it actually really hurts I've not been given the opportunity that I feel I deserve in today's game. But unfortunately now, I've realised that it's not going to happen. And my one dream I had when I left Chelsea, and the promise I made to the Chelsea fans, was that I'll come back as manager. And unfortunately, I'm never going to get that opportunity to do that, which hurts me. And it'll be one of those that are constantly niggle away at the back of my mind.